Alright guys, what is going on? It is Dylan back with another video. In today's video, we have silver players to target after the roster update. So first off, I'm just going to say anyone that has recently got into my predictions of players that I think are going to upgrade, and you saw the results of the last roster update, they weren't good. Um, I understand, and I understand is some people could be frustrated at that, but most of the plays that I've called out have either gone up in that roster update or the next. And a lot of these guys I'm invested in as well. So it's not like I'm just saying stuff to have people invest in the wrong cards. Like I want everyone that watches these videos to make stubs and stuff like that. So these are picks that I feel confident in and I invest in as well. So that's why I call these guys out so that other guys have potential to make stubs off these players. Doesn't always go the way. I also said that it was probably going to be a rougher update since the one before was so crazy. And I could probably see the same thing happening with this roster update, but I'm still going to have players that I'm still invested in or investing in that I think you guys should as well. And we're going to start off this video with two San Francisco Giant players and their pitchers at that. Anthony Delescafani, I think I got it right this time, and Jake McGee. Delescafani, the reason that I'm going after him is he's just been lights out lately. Um, over the last 30 games, he's got a 1.71 ERA, 31 innings pitched, only 8 walks and 33 strikeouts. He's got a .95 whip, which is incredibly low, and a 195 batting average, which is about above average. So, in my opinion, he is still pitching really good. He's a 79 overall. He got the boost from a 78 to a 79. I think he should have gotten the gold boost, but I think if he keeps pitching, um, though he's pitching, watch the next 2 weeks before the next roster update. If he has two good outings, I would definitely say yes. I mean, he's at a pretty good price point right now, 572. It's not like he's crazy expensive. So you could definitely get a discount on him. I mean, on the season, he's got a 2.68 ERA, 107 innings pitched, 99 strikeouts, and a 1.0 whip. So his numbers are great there for me to invest in. And we go and look at the closer for the Giants, Jake McGee. Just over the last 30 days alone, Jake McGee is 7 for 7 in save opportunities. 9 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, a .67 whip, which is really low and one of the lowest averages among closers in the last 30 days of a 156 batting average against. He also does have a win too. His ERA is 0 for it. I mean, 79 overall as well, so he just needs that +1. And he's also at a very good price point. So yet again, these are guys that I'm looking at right now. Things can change in 2 weeks. They can both have two really bad weeks between now and then. But as of right now, after the roster update, with how cheap they are, these two guys look really promising. So definitely look at these guys for investing. All right, guys. The next player that I have is another pitcher, and it's German Marquez from the Rockies. Reason I'm going after him is just I don't like him for his ERA and his strikeouts. I mean, he still does average just above a strikeout an inning, which is always a good stat in my opinion. Um, but a stat that stands out to me is he leads the league in complete games with 3, and he's got a complete game shutout recently against the Pirates. But his last 7 games pitched, he's got a 5-1 record. Said record really doesn't mean much. 2.3 ERA, 47 innings pitched, 45 strikeouts, and a .79 WHIP. His WHIP is actually really low on the season. It's a 1.14. He's got 112 strikeouts or 114 strikeouts and 112 innings pitched with a 3.36 ERA, which is the ERA is a lot higher than I like, but it's still in the top pitcher. I think it's like top 30 pitchers right now for ERA. And if you go and just look at his career numbers, I know that doesn't have a huge impact, but he's actually pitching better than he has in his career. So that also kind of stands out to me. So I mean, he's not someone that I necessarily see going to gold in this next roster update, but I feel like if he just keeps pitching as long as he does, I mean, he's one of the league leaders in innings pitched, so you'll see that stamina continue to go up, and hopefully you see some other numbers in his stats go up. But he's pretty cheap right now. Buy is almost at 450 and create a buy order about 265 stubs. So I do think he is a good long-term investment. It's just this guy I recommend definitely watching every outing he has to determine if you want to keep buying or selling. So definitely somebody else to watch out for. All right, guys. The next player that I have targeted is Adam Duvall. 78 overall. His price is just where I want it to be for 78 overall, too. He's not crazy expensive. And his stats the last 30 days, I believe, should get him to gold on this next roster update. He's one of the guys that I'm looking for to hit gold for sure on this next roster update. I'm not calling it a guarantee because nothing is a guarantee. I have no inside source or anything like that. It's just looking at numbers and trying to compare them to other players, where their overalls are, and what their overalls change throughout the season. So far on Am Duvall's season, he's leading all outfielders in RBIs with 62. He only has a 234 batting average and a 279 on base percentage. His OPS has a 766. His 37 runs, 63 hits. Not crazy numbers, I know. Um, but we saw someone like Joey Gallo who just went on a tear. Someone like Kyle Schwarber who had a huge tear, um, and their overall go up. So I look at someone like Adam Duvall, and he's somebody that stands out to me. So the last 30 games, these are his numbers: his 18 runs, 29 hits, 10 home runs, 29 RBIs, batting 296 with a 336 on base percentage. So the thing that really stands out to me is the 10 home runs in 30 games, the 29 RBIs, um, and his average and on base is higher. You look at his last 15 and his last 7 games, his batting average and on base percentage is it just continues to go up. 349 batting average, 383 on base, and then last 7, 438 and 412. So his numbers do look really good for the last 30 games, and I'm gonna hope that that is what gets him to the boost. Players that have a good month like that, like we saw someone like Adolis Garcia get a boost, and Duvall just needs 2 overall to go up. Um, like I said, it's not something that I'm really confident in 100%, but I'm putting quite a bit into him to hit gold. So I'm also hoping, just like anyone else that follows these players that I pick out, that he does go gold. So definitely another player that I am looking at and investing in for the roster update. All right, guys, and the last player that we are going to target for the roster update is Romeo Tapia. Reason going after him is just on the season, his numbers have looked really, really good. The only thing that worries me quite a bit is his last 15 games. He's been in a huge, huge slump, batting 189 and 214 for the last 15 and last 7. But the last 30, he's got a 288 batting average. He's one of the league leaders in hits. I believe is like 15th or 16th. And most of those guys that are around there in hits, batting average, stuff like that, are at least gold. Um, I mean, one of the last players was David Fletcher, and he just had a huge, huge stretch, and he went up. I don't. I'm not too high on Tapia right now, but it is early, and he does have a 78 overall. Um, I mean, stub wise, you can create a buy order for about 300, or buy him now clean for about 580, somewhere around there. I mean, CJ Cron is another guy that I'm kind of looking at, but Tapia is probably the guy, but CJ Cron isn't a bad option either. Right now, it's pretty hard to tell with silvers. I think silvers are there's a lot of them that are either priced a little too high for me to invest in or call out for you guys to invest in, or they're just they're on a slump, so it's pretty hard for right now to judge players. But those are my calls, guys, for the after the post roster update players to invest in. Um, so yeah, let me know in the comments who you guys are looking at for silver wise. I'll look at their numbers. Maybe there's someone I'm missing, but right now those are the guys that I'm looking at and do like for the roster update so far.